Hello and welcome to Lesson 3 of the Foundations of Reading Test Prep series. This video is proudly presented by foundationsofreading.com. I'm going to enter my prep, access it right here. If you've been following along, lesson number 1, we talked about the framework of the Foundations of Reading exam. Lesson number 2, we completed a 25-question diagnostic practice test, and as you can see, we passed. And here, in lesson number 3, we're going to be going over our study guide workbook. I love this activity because if you're looking for an interactive way to really solidify all of the concrete knowledge that you need to know in order to pass your Foundations of Reading exam, this is the place to be. Now, I just want to first and foremost showcase that if you take a look, I'd like to draw your attention to the left navigation bar here. If we click on Study Guide, our Foundations of Reading online study guide includes a total of 4 different chapters, and that's because there are 4 sections of your exam. So in section number 1, this is worth 35%. We've talked about this. It's called Foundations of Reading Development. Section 2, 3, and 4. Now, this study guide is so clear, it's so direct, and what I really like is that it is written in a visual way that makes learning fast and easy. So as you can see, it's written in a bullet point, non-fluff way. It just provides the information that you need to know. However, I have to say that the Foundations of Reading is a challenging exam that really tests your fundamental core knowledge of reading instruction, of effective reading instruction as usually an elementary teacher. Now, you need to know not only about the common terminology, but how to teach them, how to differentiate lessons to meet the needs of all of your learners. And for me and us here at Foundations of Reading, we do not just want to give you all of the information you need. It's all right here, but we also wanted to cater to those types of learners, and we have them on our team that actually need they're more kinesthetic workers, right? We learn by doing. And so in this lesson, you and I are going to go over our workbook. And we are going to literally complete this. Now, I showed you the study guide, first of all, because our workbook is based on the study guide, but the workbook is an interactive component that really helps you remember, really engages your learning, so that you can recall the information on exam day. And if that's what you need, if you need to pass the Foundations of Reading, I highly suggest that you go to foundationsofreading.com and get access so that you can engage your brain and complete all of the workbook exercises. Now, if you're wondering, hey there, the study guide had 4 chapters. Why does the workbook have 3? That's because if you watched our first lesson, you'll know that these 3 lessons make up the content knowledge that you need to know for your multiple choice section. However, the 4th section lives right down here, and that is written response. That's when you actually, look at this, we have 8 different, depending on which program that you sign up to, whether you sign up for the basic tier or the plus tier, we have a total of 8 constructed response prompts where you literally read a prompt similar to what you'll receive on test day, and then you type it in, and then you get instant feedback. So for the workbook, it caters to the content knowledge that you need to know for your multiple choice questions. The 4th chapter lives right here. All right, without further ado, we are going to begin with the workbook for the Foundations of Reading Development. You can recall that this section is worth 35% of your exam. It's by far the most important section that you need to know. So we're going to be working through this step by step. I've mentioned this before. Your brain activates differently when you are literally the one clicking the button and thinking for yourself, where should this go? So although this is a very helpful video, the best step is for you to actually get access to this so you can see if you can complete it or not. All right, let's begin. Starting first and foremost off with Objective 1 of Chapter 1 of the Foundations of Reading exam. Note here that our test prep exactly aligns with the same principles and exam competencies listed on the official exam framework. So that Objective 1 is all about phonological and phonemic awareness, concepts about print, and alphabetic principle. What we need to do in this section is sort the items, whether they are phonological awareness, examples of phonological awareness, or phonemic awareness. So here we go. I'm going to read these again before I actually complete this. Think in your own head, where should these each go? I'm going to take a look. I'm going to read these for a moment here. All right. So first up, broad awareness that oral language is made up of smaller units such as words, syllables, and onsets or rhymes. Where should this go? So I'm going to click it. And I believe that's phonological awareness, so I'm going to put it there. Once I have all of these sorted, I'm going to check my answers. All right, next up, task. Tell me 2 words that rhyme with cat. Let's see here. I'm going to also put that with phonological awareness. Next up, all right, we have working with individual phonemes, so smallest unit of sounds in spoken words. That, to me, that's phonemic awareness. Remember, if you're wondering, hey, what's the difference between phonological awareness and phonemic awareness? That is when you actually go and read the study guide. When it's time for you to implement what you learned in the study guide, use the workbook. Okay, next up, blend these sounds together. App. What word is that? What word? That would go with phonemic awareness. Here we go. We've got 2 more. What sound does the what sound does the word dog start with? What sound? Okay, that is phonemic awareness. Clap the syllables in butterfly. How many are there? That would be phonological awareness. Just make sure. I'm just taking a look here. I do believe this all looks good. Let's check it. Great. We got 6 out of 6. And we're moving on. Next up, we need to order. Notice that your exam will ask you to demonstrate your understanding of the phonological awareness continuum, which means when we as teachers teach phonological awareness, it is our job to not just haphazardly or randomly select the lessons, but there is an effective approach that studies have shown, or, oftentimes professors, they've written the papers, they've done the studies, and we now know the most effective steps to teach, for example, phonological awareness. So the test will ask you to demonstrate your understanding between which is easiest to hardest, and we now need to put these in order. So is this currently the order? Word analysis, phoneme awareness, syllable awareness, onset and rhyme. I don't think so. I think it does go phoneme awareness. However, I think syllable awareness will go next, so I just changed that. Notice how what you do is you click on it and then you touch the next box where you think it should go. And then onset and rhyme should go third. So notice here, I'm going to click 3, and it's going to make onset and rhyme go to step 3. Boom. So let me just double check that. It should be word awareness, syllable awareness, onset and rhyme awareness, and phoneme awareness. Let me check that. Great. Now, if I click try again, and, I move these around a little bit, and then I check it again, notice here how none of them were correct, right? So what you want to do is, and you can play with this as much as you want, and, keep going, and then check and say, still no, right? But remember, easiest to hardest, phonological awareness, let's just do this one more time. That's word analysis first, syllable analysis second, onset and rhyme, phoneme, and we have all 4. Great. Now let's move on to ordering phonemic awareness skills, and we are asked to arrange all 6 phonemic awareness skills from easiest to most complex. So once again, just like we did for phonological awareness, your exam will check that you can do the same with phonemic awareness. So phoneme deletion, segmentation, addition, blending, substitution, and identification. All right, if you're watching this, make sure that you pause the video. You ask yourself, what goes first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth? And did you get it correct? Now, first and foremost is phoneme identification. So I'm going to click it and put it to number 1. Second is phoneme blending. There we go. Third is phoneme segmentation. Fourth is phoneme addition. Where is this? Fourth. Okay, good. Phoneme addition. Fifth is let's see here. Phoneme addition, identification, blending, segmentation, phoneme deletion. That's what I was looking for right there. And then addition goes before subtraction. All right. Okay. Identification, blending, segment. What we want is deletion to go right here. Try that again. Oh, there we go. Good, good, good. I think this is right. Let's check it. Good. We got all 6 correct. Next up, it's time for us to match concepts about print. Remember, concepts about print includes letter versus word, word boundaries, print directionality, book orientation, print carries meaning, and punctuation awareness. These are all the steps and aspects of print awareness, of concepts about print that we need to know. So we have them here. First up, let's read it together. And again, if you're watching this video, great. Every minute that you spend preparing helps you on the exam. So text, not illustrations. This is what carries the message and represents spoken language. That would be print carries meaning. I saw it earlier. Print carries meaning. So I'm going to touch it and place it down there. Written English moves left to right and top to bottom with a return sweep at the end. Remember, that's where you sweep and then you go down here. So the children, they know they sweep and then so it's oftentimes that kids will accidentally skip a line, right? So what is that? That is print directionality. Remember, in English, we read from left to right, top to bottom. Spaces between letter groups signal where one spoken word ends and another begins. Ends and begins, that's the word boundaries. Individual characters and groups of characters are distinct units. Words are made up of letters. That is letter versus word. We need to know the difference and how to teach it. Fourth, knowing the front and back of a book, identifying title and author of the cover, and that pages turn left to right. That is book orientation, not to be confused with this print directionality. Next up, and lastly, let's double check that this ends up being punctuation awareness. Marks such as periods, question marks, good. So that goes here, punctuation, and let's check, and we're all good. Is that what you got to? Nice. Next up is all about matching letter knowledge and the alphabetic principle. And what we are asked to do is to match each term to its definition. Notice here how the study guide clearly and directly, explicitly provides this information, but the workbook that we're working on right now is your chance to double check, use that little comprehension check that you remember this, because it's easy to actually just read a study guide and then think, yeah, I've got that. But then on test day, you go, oh, wait, what's the difference between alphabetic principle and letter knowledge, right? That's why I like this interactive workbook so much. Okay, so here we are matching letter knowledge and alphabetic principle. First one, the ability to recognize and name uppercase and lowercase letters in isolation and within context. That is right here, letter knowledge. The understanding that letters and letter combinations systematically represent the sounds of spoken language is the alphabetic principle right there. And knowing which phonemes map to which graphemes. Remember, phoneme is sound, grapheme is written, and that is letter-sound correspondence. Let's check it, and all 3 are correct. Well done. Thank you for the help there. Let's go on and complete the instructional strategy to reading skill development. Now, this one is extremely important. Oftentimes on test day, you will be given a scenario-based classroom question and be with, and the stem of the question presents a student who has a reading issue or need, and the question asks something like, what is the most effective reading instructional strategy to meet the needs of this student? And your job is to connect the reading skill that the student needs with the most appropriate instructional strategy. So this particular exercise is crucial for just totally having a solid understanding for it. Now, if we're going to take a look, Elkin boxes. So this is the instructional skill that matches with which reading skill. So we've got the instructional strategy with which reading skill, Elkin boxes. Let's see here, concepts about print, oral language development, alphabetic principle, phoneme segmentation, phoneme blending, letter sound correspondence. That would be phoneme segmentation. Phoneme blending drills, kind of a giveaway here, but that's phoneme blending. Shared reading goes with, let's see here, shared reading, I'm looking here, would be, concepts of print. Interactive read alouds is oral language development. There we go. Phonetic spelling. This is also called invented spelling. So if you get either of those on the test, be on the lookout for a letter sound correspondence. And then here we have interactive writing goes with the alphabetic principle. Let's check it. Okay, good. Got a little nervous there, but looks like it's all good. All right. Objective. We are now moving on to objective number 2 of chapter 1, or what's called on the exam competency 1. So this is the second objective still in exam competency number 1, and it's all about showing that you have a good grasp for phonics, high frequency words, and spelling. And what we're asked to do is arrange the phonics patterns in instructional order from simple to complex. Notice again that we are asked to understand the order, and rightly so, because it is so important that we teach with the proper order. So I'm just taking a look here. Make sure you do the same, and write it down. What would you put as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth? I'm looking for. There we go. I'm gonna start with CVC words. And I'm going to go next to consonant digraphs and blends. I saw that there, right there. Okay, good. And after this, we're going to go CVCE, which is right here. After CVCE, we're going to go CVVC, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant. Put that fourth step. And our controlled vowels can stay there. Multisyllabic words are last. Let's check it, all 6, and we're good. Let's keep this moving on. Classify consonant digraph versus consonant blend. This is the distinction, let's just read it. This distinction appears frequently on the exam. A graph produces one new sound. A blend preserves each consonant blend's sound. We are asked to take these and show that we have a understanding of what is a consonant digraph and which are consonant blends. So let's just begin straight away. We have TH. I'm going to put that with consonant digraph. SK, where does SK go? Think about it here. Each letter keeps its sound like skateboard. Okay, there we go, SK. And PH. Now think phone, right? Is there one sound, or are there two? Phone goes with it. It's a digraph. CH, chair, 1. SH, 1. CR, 2. Critical. STR, street. We can hear all of the letters. They keep their own individual sounds. And the BL is a blend. And we can see that there is the BL inside the word blend. All right, now let's check it. And we are good to go. Next up, we have phonics terminology, another important topic. Phonics match each term to its definition. You must be able to distinguish these terms precisely. Absolutely, we have vowel team, consonant digraph, diphthong, grapheme, consonant blend, and R-controlled vowel. So where are we going to put these? Let's start by reading the definition. A letter or combination of letters that represents a single phoneme. So SH is one grapheme representing this symbol right there. And I'm going to go with grapheme, put that there. Here we go. Two consecutive consonants that together represent one sound. We were just talking about these up above, and that would be the consonant digraph. Two or three consonants where each sound remains distinct when pronounced. Also, we were just talking about that is the consonant blend. Moving down to the fourth one, two adjacent vowels that together represent a single sound. So a single sound here, that is the vowel team. Put that there. A vowel sound that glides between two positions within one syllable. Two positions, one syllable. Diphthong. Here we go. All right. A vowel followed by R, and pretty confident of that one. Good. 6 out of 6. Let's keep this going. Thanks for sticking around. We here want to provide all of the information, all of the activities, everything that helps you get totally prepared for your upcoming Foundations of Reading exam. And if you appreciate this video, please give it a thumbs up. So, irregular words cannot be fully decoded using taught phonics patterns and must be memorized as whole words. We need to sort these between phonologically irregular and irregular. So I'm going to go here. Let's just start with the first one, will. What else do we have? The is irregular, must be memorized. That's true. Think about like a sight word. I also see said. Let's go at would be right here. Of goes to the sight word section, must be memorized. Can, you can think, can we help students decode this? Yes, we can. And sit, it, yes, we can pronounce it. Was is one of the words that needs to be taught as a whole unit. Let's check it. 8 out of 8. Nice job. Let's keep this going. Next up, we have another matching activity, phonics strategy and the purpose. So when you're teaching the classroom, you'll notice that students will do a lot better job learning the material if you provide them with a purpose, not just because this is what we're learning today, right? So match each instructional strategy to what it actually accomplishes. Again, we have the instructional strategy on the left. We have the primary purpose. So why do we as teachers use word sorts? Word sorts are fun, right? You can give the piece of paper, usually they're in an array, something like 3 by 4 little cards. Students cut them up, match them, kind of like a little, remember that game, Memory? All right, flashcards, let's go. Excuse me, word sorts, let's go. All right, so we have, looking for, and again, don't just watch me, make sure you pause the video. This is your time to do the matching with me. I see build phonics. That's what I'm going to be doing here. Decodable text. Which one? Practice newly taught phonics. That looks good. Dictating or encoding. Let's see. Okay. Reveal and reinforce pattern mastery through spelling. Yes, sounds good. Systematic explicit instruction. That would be teach patterns in deliberate scope and sequence from simple to complex. Like it. Oral reading and monitoring. Let's make sure that this is the way. And it is. Nice. Okay. We are on a streak. We are moving to objective number 3, word analysis, including syllabication, morphemic analysis, and orthography. Just in case you get the word orthography on test day, remember that this word just means spelling. Bit of a, scientific word, professional, academic word, but it might say spelling on test day, might say orthography or orthographic knowledge. Then what we need to do is match the 6 syllable types. So again, we have these term bank. We have the term bank here with the terms below. Vowel, consonant E, open. R controlled, closed, consonant LE, vowel, team. What is that going to be? Ends in a consonant. The vowel is short. Ends in a consonant and the vowel is short. Ends in a consonant. Yeah, I'm going to go with closed right here. Ends in a vowel. That would be open, I do believe. Ends in vowel plus consonant plus silent E. That would be the vowel consonant plus E. Contains two adjacent vowels representing one sound. Representing one sound, that is the vowel team. Not the first time we've seen that here, which means it is important to know. Vowel plus R is R-controlled vowel. Final syllable with consonant plus LE. Consonant LE. There we go. Let's check it. And we're good. Classified. This is also important here. Inflectional versus derivational. So inflectional morphemes, they change grammatical form, but do not change the part of speech. Derivational morphemes create a new word and often change the part of speech. So take a moment here, pause the video, and sort these items between inflectional and derivational. I'm going to take a moment here and read what we have up top. All right, inflectional. Let's start with full, just first one here. That's derivational. Let's go ing. Inflectional. We have the suffix nes, s, nes. Derivational changes the part of speech. Like unhappy. Okay, so actually change, yeah, happy to unhappy, totally change the meaning here. So with this S, put that down there. The shun, T-I-O-N. Let's see, inflectional, derivational, shun would change, such as act and action. Yep, right here, good, good. And ER, tall, taller, still inflectional, and the ED, I'm going to put right there. Check it, and we are good to go. Match types of morphemes match each morpheme type to its definition. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, we have 5. All right, first up, can stand alone as a complete word. Take a moment here to try your best and do all of the matching too. Can stand alone, can stand alone, that's a free morpheme. Means, yeah, like play. It's kind of like a root word. I think free, because it doesn't need anything to kind of exist alone, right? Let's go. All right, so cannot stand alone. Wait, cannot stand alone. That's a bound morpheme. It needs, so again, exactly. So if we have play, that's a free morpheme. But if we have play full, the full, like, I mean, of course, okay, so we do have full, like F-U-L-L, but again, here, if we wanted, we had happy, happy stands alone, unhappy, as its own word, cannot. So that's a bound morpheme. Core morpheme carrying primary meaning, often from Latin or Greek, that would be the root. Place it there. A bound morpheme attached before the root. Before is a prefix. A bound morpheme attached after the root is a suffix. Let's check, and we're good. Moving on, we have Latin and Greek roots. Knowing these roots helps students, yes, we teach our students these Latin and Greek roots because they help students, kind of like what we're doing here. They help students solidify the meaning. So we need to match the roots with the meaning and word examples. So port, 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 port. If we take a look here, does port mean to write, to break, to say, to carry, to life, to sound? To port is to carry, right? Right here, we have such as dictation. That would be to say. not to be confused with sound or record, similar but different, right? And then we have this rupt, so like disrupt, and we disrupt right there. There we go. Bio is life, excuse me, biology. Graph means to write. Here we go. And phone, like phonology, phonemic awareness. There we go. Let's check it. And we are doing good. Thank you for sticking around. I wouldn't be doing so well if it wasn't for you sticking around. All right. Match fluency components and key concepts. Match each term to its definition. Know these precisely. The exam frequently tests the distinctions between them. Reading words correctly without decoding errors. The foundation of fluency. Phonics gaps cause accuracy problems. Phonics gaps cause accuracy problems. Accuracy, right there. Reading at an appropriate pace. That would be rate. Remember, rate means speed. Reading with an appropriate expression. Expression or intonation means prosody. And fast, effortless reading. This is actually the goal of reading, to not only understand that which is read, but to also read it fluently. And that is called automaticity. Let's check it. And we got it. Nice job. All right. Classify decoding problem versus fluency problem. This is the most important fluency distinction on the exam. If a student misreads words, that is a decoding problem. Fluency practice will not help classify each student description correctly. So we have decoding problem or fluency problem. Remember, decoding is another way to say reading. So reads accurately, reads accurately, but sounds robotic. So, and that of course is fluency because they need to work on prosody. All right, next up, what do we have here? What do we have? We are going through this section and consistently reads the vowel team. Okay, that would be a decoding problem, struggling with a specific type of part of speech, cannot decode CVCE words. That would be a decoding problem. Reads accurately without errors, but very slow. That's a pacing or reading rate problem. Remember, 3 legs of fluency is accuracy, rate, and prosody. Reads ship as sip and stop as sop. That is a decoding problem. Reads grade level, word count per minute, but with a flat monotone delivery. That's fluency. Let's check it, and we are good. All right, match. Fluency strategy, primary purpose. Each fluency strategy targets something specific, and on test day, you're going to need to be able to identify the most appropriate response. So here we have the strategy that the teacher would implement, and here we have the purpose of why they would need to. Take a moment here and read all of these. All right, so what is repeated reading used for? Build rate with automaticity through multiple readings with feedback. Multiple readings equals repeated reading. Reader's theater, however, would be to model, to teach, to build, to develop through authentic performance without memorizing. Yes. All right, so here we go. Interactive way to practice prosody is through using reader's theater. So the way to really look at this for your exam is this is the part that will likely be shared on test day. So if you receive a question where a student is struggling with reading prosody, remember that's called intonation, and you see an answer option that includes reader's theater, sort of look closer at that one. All right, now what do we use phrase cued reading for? All right, let's take a look at all of these. Phrase cued reading. Teach meaningful text. Chunking using slash marks. If you don't remember what phrase cued reading is, just, Google image search it and you will see, but that is where the commas are placed. The teacher will actually make a photocopy of, for example, like one page of a book, and this is when any student is just totally omitting any commas, and we need to teach them, oh, nope, like add a comma, this is when you make a short pause, or add a period, this is when you make a longer pause. Sometimes when students are learning to read, they don't pause at all, they just keep reading, but then that negatively influences or impacts their reading comprehension. And so what a teacher will do is use phrase cued reading. Just look it up and you'll see, and once you get the visual, you'll say, oh, I understand what that is. All right, so phrase cued reading, I'm going to place it right there. There we go. Echo reading, model fluent reading, build automaticity over time. Which one am I going to do? Model reading, there we go. Echo reading again, of course. Again, if you're thinking, what's echo reading? It's listed in the study guide. So just read that, and this is when you check your knowledge. Wide independent reading. Let's put this there. Let's check it. And, we are good to go. Reading level definitions match each reading level to its accuracy threshold and instructional implication. Okay, frustration reading level. It's probably going to be the easiest for me to knock out first. I'm going to put that right there. Instructional. So the question is, which is higher? Because we see right here, 95% or 95+% or 90 to 94%. And you need to know which one is higher. Is it independent reading level or is it instructional reading level? The answer is independent reading level is higher. This is what a student can do independently, whereas the instructional reading level, this is the level of reading a student can do with the support of the teacher. Let's go there. Let's check it. We're good to go. Thanks so much for watching. This video is proudly presented by Foundations of Reading. If I wanted to next, we would click the next lesson, but that is for you to do so that you engage your brain and make sure that you know all of the material in lesson 2 and also in lesson 3, and I will see you in future videos.